Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So we'll be discussing from second chapter Bhagavad Gita. Before we do that, we'll chant the Jai Radha Madhava prayers. So you can repeat after me. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda, Jayo Srinivas Govinda. Jayo Prahlad Narasimha, Jayo Prahlad Narasimha, Jayo Prahlad Narasimha, Jayo Prahlad Narasimha. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Nittai Gauranga ki, Shri Srinivas Govinda ki, Shri Prahlad Narasimhadev ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nittai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So we'll be reading from second chapter, text 40, that is displayed on the screen. So before we start, please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So please repeat the verse after me. Neha Bikramanasosti. Neha Bikramanasosti. Pratyavayo na vidyate. Pratyavayo na vidyate. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bhayat. Trayate mahato bhayat. Neha Bikramanasosti. Pratyavayo na vidyate. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bhayat. So I'll read the word-to-word meanings and translation. So we have a short class, 12:30. We have different announcements and other program going on. So I'll try to keep it a little short. So I'll read the word-to-word meanings. Na, there is not. Iha, in this world. Abhikrama, endeavoring. Nasaha, loss. Asti, there is. Pratyavaya, diminution. Na, never. Vidyate, there is. Swalpam, little. Api, although. Asya, of this. Dharmasya, of this occupation. Trayate, releases. Mahataha, of very great. Bhayat, from danger. Translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So please repeat the translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in material activity, without 100% success, there is no profit. Achamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tyaktva sadharman charanambujam hajer bhajanna pakko atha patet tato yadi yatra kva vabhadram abudamusya kim kovarta apto bhajatam swadharmataha. Quote, if someone gives up self-gratificatory pursuits and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 5th chapter, 17th verse. Or as the Christians say, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world yet suffers the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries the person again to Krishna consciousness, even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Thus ends the purport. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitanyena Tasmai Sri Guruven Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you for all of you for joining. So this is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter was pretty much the situation on the battlefield. You all know Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield, where Arjuna was completely bewildered when he had to fight his own family members. So Arjuna did not wanted to fight. He cited various reasons. And Arjuna, Krishna was helping him as a chariot driver. So many reasons Arjuna, some of the main reasons he gives is, how can I kill my own people? Right? The Kauravas, they are like my brothers. Right? So it's so closely related. So he's questioning Krishna. Krishna, how can I do this? How can I kill my own brothers? What is going on here? I mean, all said and done, we ended up here on the battlefield. But I see that, my enemies are none other than my own relatives. So what is this, Krishna? How can I kill my own brothers? And not only his brothers, but his uncles were also there. Right? Everyone on the Kaurava's side. And then not only his brothers and uncles, he saw his teacher also. Even Dronacharya was there. They were the teacher, because Dronacharya was on the side of, because they were all part of the Kuru kingdom. So he's like, how can I kill my teacher? And then his dear grandfather Bhishma was there. So Arjuna was totally shocked. Like, what is going on? I'm here, I'm very powerful. I have this Gandiva and these arrows, and I literally have to kill these people now. It is not just a debate or an argument or something like that. In a Kshatriya, there is no compromise. If two kings get together to fight, one person has to die. That's it. So if he needs to win, if they need victory, he has to kill all of them. So Arjuna was totally baffled. He was bewildered, and he's like, oh Krishna, I can't do this fight. I don't want to kill my own people. I don't want to kill my own grandfather, my uncles, my brothers. And then he says, Krishna, this seems to be very sinful. Isn't it sinful to kill our own family members? I mean, what is this? What kind of a fight is this? And then he says, so Krishna, I'd rather leave this place. I will go away. I don't want to fight. I don't want to get into this fight. So Krishna smiles at that time, and he tells Arjuna, Arjuna, why are you talking like this? This doesn't make sense. Arjuna was again lost. He's like, oh, what is not making sense here? Krishna is like, how can I kill my own people? And then Krishna starts speaking to Arjuna. And till then there was a argument, debate. They were like cousin brothers, right? Krishna and Arjuna. So, but Arjuna knew Krishna was the Supreme Lord. Deep down he knew that. So he surrenders to Krishna. He says, Krishna, I am totally lost. Now you please tell me what I should do. So the first thing Krishna does is he gives him instruction, the foundational principles. The foundational understanding was missing with Arjuna. Arjuna was so overwhelmed. He was so caught up with the bodily relationships. See, the brothers, uncle, father, grandfather, these are all bodily relationships. So Krishna then clarifies the last so many verses we have discussed. He introduces or reintroduces or reminds the concept of soul. He says, Arjuna, you're so worried, but actually none of them can get killed. Why? Because what will get killed is only the body. And the body is an outer external covering. Just like the dress. He gives an example, just like, we wear our dress. When it becomes old, we discard it. And we get on a new dress. In the same way, this body is nothing but a dress for the soul. There is the Atma, there is the soul in the body. And when the body dies, it is only the change of dress. They will get another body. That is the law of material existence. So why are you worried about that for the change of body? You have to do your duty. And then thinking about the soul, well, if I try to attack them and kill them, the body will be destroyed. But what about the soul? Then Krishna says, and he clarifies that the soul is eternal. There is no death to the soul. The soul always existed. If not in this body, in a previous life, in another body. And the next life, another body. So the soul is eternal. It is always existing. And then he says it is indestructible. And he goes on saying it can't be burned by fire. It can't be withered by wind. Why Krishna is saying all this? In earlier class, one of the class, Kishore Prabhu mentioned, right? Different kinds of weapons that are available in the Vedic fight. There is a fire weapon, there is a wind weapon, there is water weapon, all kinds of weapons. So Krishna is using the same example, like you're thinking about all different kinds of weapons might harm them, but none of those weapons can harm the soul. The soul is so powerful. It is spiritual in nature. So none of the material situation can harm the soul. So the soul can't be destroyed, the soul can't be killed, the soul can't be burnt. The soul is ever existing. And when the body ends, the soul gets a new body. So Krishna is now clarifying this to Arjuna. And then he also says, but you have to do your duty. Just because the soul, is, eternal, nothing can happen to the soul. That does not mean now everybody can kill whomever they want. Well, anyway, nothing happens to the soul. The body is just a covering. No, there is a purpose for the body also. The soul has to progress in its spiritual journey using the body. So nobody has a right to harm the body of any soul. Even though the body is temporary, right? You can take a crude example. Somebody is using his car to go to work every day. There is a reason for the use of the car, right? Now you can't say, I won't harm him, but I will break down the car. I will break it apart. And let's say, you broke it apart. The whole car is now demolished. You say, I didn't harm him. Nothing happened to him. It's just the car. But he has a purpose to achieve using the car, isn't it? So that is also causing a harm to the person. Even though not directly, even though indirectly, it is still a harm. So that way anybody does not have a right to harm anybody or hurt anybody or kill anybody. Why? Because it's anyway body, it is like a dress, it will change. I remember, one of the earlier, some Bollywood movie, the villain was saying, he was quoting this verse from Bhagavad Gita. The body is temporary, I have not killed anything, like that, So we should not take, undue advantage of these verses. We should have the right understanding. So then Krishna clarifies, but if it's your duty to kill, you have to kill. Why? Because the Kshatriya's duty is to establish righteousness so that the citizens can prosper spiritually. And unfortunately, the Kauravas, Duryodhana, followed by Duryodhana, they were very crooked. They were very criminal people. They were aggressors. And the society cannot progress under their rule. And Arjuna and Pandavas have a duty as a Kshatriya to kill the aggressors and establish the right religious life. Right? So Krishna in the previous verse, he kind of concludes saying, he's giving a conclusive answer to Arjuna. He's saying, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy earthly kingdom. Therefore get up and fight with determination. So Krishna is now concluding over here. And then he says, now he's leading him towards a better way of doing his duty. So in the text 38, he's saying, do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain. victory or defeat. And by doing so, you shall never incur sin. So this whole argument of Arjuna that, oh, by killing my own people, won't I incur sin? Isn't it sinful to kill my own people? So here Krishna is clarifying, no, when you're doing your duty without any attachment to the result, and just for the matter of doing your duty without considering happiness, distress, loss, gain, if you do your duty, you will not incur any sin. So technically, Bhagavad Gita could have ended here. The conversation on the battlefield could have ended here, right? Arjuna was not willing to fight. Krishna clarified, don't worry, not the body, they are the soul. They won't die, they'll get another body. Your duty is to fight as a Kshatriya and establish righteousness. So you should fight. So it could have stopped here, actually. Bhagavad Gita could have stopped. Arjuna would have got convinced by now. But then, the real purpose of Bhagavad Gita actually starts from now onwards. This is the basic lessons. Do your duty, don't commit sinful activities. But Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, he used Arjuna to give out the essence of the Vedas, to solve a problem that the entire humanity is facing. Krishna just used Arjuna. Arjuna was a pure devotee actually. It is mentioned whenever Krishna incarnates, any incarnation he takes, Arjuna also takes an incarnation with him. A very classic reference that is given is the Nara-Narayan incarnation. So the Nara there is Arjuna, Narayan is Krishna. So Arjuna, being a very close friend, is a pure devotee. He is completely well versed in all Vedic knowledge. He is a liberated soul. He doesn't need any instruction of the Vedas. But Krishna used Arjuna to deliver the essence of the Vedas. And what is the essence of the Vedas? Why are the Vedas even provided? Veda means, what does Veda mean? Veda means what? The word meaning of the word Veda. Do it in a particular way. What is the meaning of Veda? Somebody said? Knowledge. Yes, exactly. The word Veda means actually knowledge. So Krishna wanted to give knowledge, the essence of all Vedas. There is a reason. There is a common problem entire humanity is facing. Actually, entire living beings on this material existence, in this whole world, everyone is facing a common problem. And to solve that problem, Krishna gives Vedas. Anybody knows what is the common problem everybody is facing? Is it coronavirus? Repeated birth and death? Anything else? Anxiety? Unhappiness? So many things. But there's a root cause of all these problems. Yes, repeated birth and death, definitely. Anxiety, definitely. Pandemic also. Coronavirus also. But there's a root cause. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely, he says, the root cause of everyone's problem. He says, Anadir Bahirmukh Jeev. Anadir Bahirmukh Jeev. There are so many living beings. There are so many all over the world. There is one problem with all the living beings in the material world. This is only in the material world, okay? Not in the spiritual world, not in the Vaikuntha. He's saying in the material world, Anadir Bahirmukh Jeev, all the different kinds of living beings, Krishna Bhuligela, they have forgotten Krishna. This is the real problem. Ateva Krishna Veda Purana Karila. That is why Krishna has given Vedas and Puranas. Why? Because Anadir Bahirmukh Jiva, everyone has forgotten Krishna. Krishna Bhuligela. If anybody knows Bengali or Hindi, you can easily understand, right? So he's saying everyone has forgotten Krishna. That is why Krishna has given Ateva Krishna Veda Purana Karila. That is why Krishna has given Vedas and Puranas. Why? To remind everyone of Krishna. Because unless we remind ourselves, unless we revive our lost relationship with Krishna. But who is Krishna? Krishna is our Supreme Father. Bijoham Sarva Bhutani, Krishna says, I am the seed-giving Father. Aham Bija Pradapitaha. Now we all know our so-called material father's name. Everybody says, what is your father's name, mother's name? Immediately we'll tell. But how many people will you say, actually my original father is Krishna. I am just, in this, taking a temporary role in this body, this life will end. My original father actually is Krishna. Who is saying that? Nobody. Nobody even knows actually. That is why Krishna has given this knowledge. And that is what Krishna is going to speak now from this verse onwards. He is saying now in the text 39, it is the turning point in the Bhagavad Gita. Now Krishna is trying to give this supreme Vedic knowledge. The knowledge, the essence is the relationship between us and Krishna, and how to perfect this relationship and how to perfect our human life. So Krishna he's saying, thus far I have declared, this is the text 39, thus far I have declared to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. That was all analytical knowledge. The body, the soul, the construction of the body, destruction of the body, the soul taking on another body, and this is all analytical knowledge. It's just like a very analysis. But then he says, now listen to the knowledge of yoga. Now here he's saying, now I'm introducing the knowledge of yoga. We all know the word yoga comes from the word yuj. Yuj means to connect to God. Yoga means to connect to Krishna. So now he's saying, now I'm going to speak about this yoga. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without fruitive results. And then he says, oh son of Partha, when you act by such intelligence, this yoga, he uses the word buddhi yoga. Buddhi means intelligence. Buddhi means knowledge. So devotion to the Lord is not based on blind sentiment. It is based on factual knowledge. That is why the acharyas say, this is the science. This is the science of our existence, this Bhagavad Gita. So now listen to this knowledge, and he says, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. So this is the thing. Karma bandham prahasyasi. So this is the ultimate perfection of our human life. What is that? We should free ourselves from the bondage of works. Karma bandhanaha. Because when we are bonded to the results of our works, we have to take one more birth. And one more birth, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Every time you take birth, you have to deal with birth, death, old age, and disease. So now Krishna is speaking about this supreme science where one works using his intelligence in such a way that they won't incur any reaction. So this is yoga, right? This is no secret. What is this? Krishna is saying, Buddhi yogam tva imam shrunu. Listen about this Buddhi yoga. So this is Buddhi yoga is nothing but Bhakti yoga. It's connecting to Krishna. And then he's saying, Buddhya yukta yasya partha. If you do like this, then you will be karma bandham prahasyasi. You will be freed from sinful reaction. So Krishna is now talking about performing devotional activities or spiritual activities where there is a connection to Krishna. That is what yoga is. And he's qualifying what is this kind of activity. He's saying, Arjuna, don't think this is like another kind of material activity. Oh, what if I don't perfect? Is it a loss? Complete loss? Right? No, he's saying, Neha Bikrama Nasosti. Whatever activity you do in spiritual life, the spiritual activity, the main thing is there is no loss or diminution. And any advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. As Prabhupada explained in the purport, any devotional spiritual activity we do, Prabhupada gives example, let's say you did till 10%, you have performed some spiritual activities, you have made some spiritual advancement, and your life ends. The next life, your spiritual activity starts from the 11%. But in this life, let's say you accumulated $1 million and they're in your Bank of America account. Next life you go, you open a bank account. Does it start from a starting balance of 1 million and can it start from 1 million one when you put the first dollar? No, it starts from zero. Everything is lost. But the spiritual life, it starts from the next percent what you gave up in the previous life. So that is what Prabhupada is saying, and Krishna is saying this is a different kind of activity where there is no loss. And then it says, it also saves you from the greatest type of danger. He says, Trayate mahato bhayat. Bhayat means fearful situation. Mahato means the most greatest dangerous fear. What is that most dangerous greatest fear? We talk death is anyway change of bodies. The most dangerous fear, Prabhupada reveals and Krishna later reveals, is losing the opportunity of human life is the most dangerous thing that can happen to us. Because only in the human life we can understand the Vedic knowledge, we can perfect ourselves, we can advance spiritually, and we can attain liberation, mukti. We can go back to Vaikuntha. We can free ourselves from the repeated cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. This is possible only in the human life. But losing an opportunity of human life, if next life we become an animal, that is a great loss. So Krishna says, if you perform the spiritual activity, next life we will get another human birth. And as Prabhupada says, we can get a birth in the family of a Brahmana or a very rich aristocratic family. Right? So I'll stop here. We all should keep this point in mind, that spiritual activity, there is no loss, and it saves us from the greatest fear, the greatest danger of losing the human life. So we can get one more human life and continue our spiritual progress, provided we don't complete in this life. But we should aim to complete it in this life. Okay? So I'll stop here. Thank you all for your time. So I'll request, today there are some announcements and some prize distribution. So anybody coming for the first time, newcomers, anybody coming, raise your hand. Yes, yeah. So we have Lata Mataji over there. Mataji, can you raise your hand? So whenever you get a time, please see her in the gift shop. We will give you a nice gift. So the newcomers get a nice gift. So collect your gift. And with that, I will hand over the mic to our folk program coordinators. There are some folk announcements. And then we also have some Krishna Fest announcements also. Hare Krishna. I'll do it. Yeah, that keyboard is on.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to show now? The
First,
video?
first maybe video, the 1 minute video for introduction.
Okay.
And then we will show the 2 slides and
I need
we'll
the
bring the
keyboard.
kids.
Who has the keyboard? Okay.
You want to do it here?
What do you want to do?
You want to do it here or this side, maybe?
The kids can come on the stage.
Okay.
So everything can happen. So get somebody to clear up that. Meanwhile, I'll play the video.
Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. All kids, please come in front. There is a lot of space here.
Yeah, you can get them all on the stage if you want. Let them go inside.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. All the kids, please come in front. Come in front. There is a lot of space in the front.
Hare Krishna, request all the parents and teachers at the back. Rasapriya Mataji, Divyakirti Mataji. Can you call all the kids who are standing there, come and make them sit here? Every single one of them has to sit. No one should be standing there. All the children have to come front and sit.